In an apartment in Taipei, Taiwan, a young woman had just moved in. Her name was Lin Yating. She lived alone. The building was old. The walls were thin. The hallway lights flickered every night when the sun disappeared behind the tall skyline. Yating had chosen this place because it was quiet, cheap, hidden from the noise of the busy streets. She wanted a new beginning. She wanted a place where she could breathe again. No friends. No family nearby. Only her and the sound of the city far below. On her first night, she sat on the floor with her boxes still closed. The air inside the apartment felt different from the hallway. It felt colder. As if someone had opened a window even though every window was shut tight. She ignored it. She told herself it was only the old building. She was wrong. At exactly 10 p.m., she heard the first knock. It was gentle. Soft. Almost polite. 3 slow taps on her door. She froze. Her heart started to beat too fast. She waited for a second knock. It never came. Only silence. When she looked through the peephole, no one was there. The hallway was empty and dark. Only the strange flickering light above her door. She tried to sleep, but the feeling returned. As if someone was walking just outside her door. Soft footsteps that never moved far. A quiet presence that stood still for a long time before fading away. She told herself it was her imagination. The next night, she learned it was not. When the clock reached 10 p.m. again, the atmosphere changed. This time the knocking was slower. 1 tap. A long silence. Another tap. Then a voice. A whisper that slid through the door like cold air. "Do you want to drink coffee with me?" Her breath stopped. The voice sounded like a young woman. Calm. Polite. Too calm. "Do you want to sit with me?" Yating stepped back from the door. She covered her mouth with her hand, afraid the voice could hear her breathing. "Do you want to talk with me?" The voice waited. Soft. Patient. Almost sad. She did not reply. She did not move. Her body felt frozen. The whisper came again, even softer. "Do you want to hang out with me?" The moment the sentence ended, the hallway light blinked. Once. Twice. Then it died completely and the hallway turned black. Yating stood in the silent darkness of her apartment, her heart shaking inside her chest. She wanted to scream. She wanted to run. She wanted to open the door and tell the voice to go away. She did none of those things. She waited until the sound faded. When midnight arrived, she finally dared to look through the peephole again. No one. Only darkness. But the air outside felt colder than before. As if someone had been standing there for a very long time. On the third night, she turned on the TV to drown the silence. She tried to distract herself with noise. But the moment the clock touched 10 p.m., the TV flickered and turned black on its own. Then the knock returned. 3 slow taps. Then 2. Then 1. After that, the voice. "Do you want to drink coffee with me?" Her blood felt heavy inside her veins. She took a small step toward the door without understanding why. Her hand reached for the metal handle. Her fingers shook. "Do you want to sit with me?" Her eyes filled with tears. She felt a sadness that did not belong to her. A loneliness pressing against her heart like a weight. "Do you want to talk with me?" The voice cracked slightly. As if the speaker was crying. "Do you want to hang out with me?" Yating whispered to herself. "Please stop. Please stop." The voice spoke again, but this time it was not a question. "I know you are inside." Yating covered her ears and stepped back. The air grew colder. She heard something sliding across her door. Something like fingers brushing the surface. Soft. Slow. Searching. When she looked through the peephole, she did not see a person. She saw an eye. A woman's eye. Empty. Lifeless. Pressed directly against the peephole. Watching her from the other side. Yating screamed and fell backward. The knocking stopped. The voice stopped. The eye disappeared. She sat on the floor for almost an hour, shaking with fear. When she finally stood up and looked again, the hallway was empty. Only the silence remained. She did not sleep that night. She sat on the edge of her bed with the lights on, listening carefully. At 3 in the morning, she heard something outside her door again. Not knocking this time. Whispering. A woman whispering to herself. It sounded like crying. A soft, broken sound that raised the hairs on Yating's arms. Then the voice spoke again. This time it was faint, almost too low to understand. Why do you not open the door for me? I am alone too. Yating held her breath. Her eyes stared at the door in terror. She finally understood something. The woman was not trying to visit her. The woman was trapped outside. Just like Yating was trapped inside. And one night, when the clock reached 10, the voice would not ask anymore. It would demand. Lin Yating did not sleep. She sat on the edge of her bed with the lights on and her hands shaking. The memory of the pale eye pressed against the peephole stayed in her mind like a burned image. Every time she blinked, she saw it again. The apartment felt colder than the night before. The air seemed too heavy for such a small room. She felt as if someone had been standing beside her bed while she slept, watching her without moving. When the sun finally rose above Taipei, she stood up slowly and turned on the kitchen light. She hoped the morning would chase away the fear. It did not. Her phone buzzed. A notification. A recommended article. She almost ignored it, but something made her tap the screen. The article was old. 6 months old. But the headline froze her breath. Young woman found dead in Taipei apartment. Authorities suspect suicide. Case remains open. Yating scrolled down. The woman had lived alone. Neighbors described her as quiet and withdrawn. Some reported hearing strange noises at night before her death. Investigators found an unusual symbol drawn on her floor. A pentagram with unfamiliar markings. Yating stopped reading. Her chest tightened. Then she saw the name. Lin Yating. Her fingers trembled. The name felt too close to her own. It felt like a shadow of herself. She forced herself to continue. The apartment remained empty for 6 months after her death. Tenants refused to move in because of rumors about unexplained knocks and whispers. The case gained attention because of the strange drawing left at the scene. Yating's breathing slowed. Her eyes moved toward her front door without meaning to. She unlocked it and opened it gently, hoping for fresh air, hoping for something normal. The hallway was silent. The lights flickered softly. Then she noticed something on the floor. A folded piece of paper had been slipped under her door. Her heart stopped for a moment. She crouched slowly and picked it up. The paper was old. Yellowed. Burned slightly at the edges. It smelled like dust and metal. She opened it. A pentagram. Drawn in thick black ink. Rough lines. Symbols scratched deep into the paper, as if someone drew them with their nails. Below the symbol, one sentence was written. I wanted a friend. Her vision blurred. Her hand shook violently. She dropped the paper on the floor. As it landed, the hallway lights flickered again. Once. Twice. Then everything turned silent. A whisper floated through the apartment. soft. Close. Inside. Do you want to drink coffee with me? Yating spun around, but the room was empty. Do you want to sit with me? Her eyes filled with tears. The voice felt like it came from every corner of the room. Do you want to talk with me? She backed away slowly. Her legs felt weak. The air grew colder. Her breath came out in a thin white fog. Do you want to hang out with me? A cold breath touched the back of her neck. She screamed and ran to the opposite wall. Her chest tightened with panic. The lights flickered. The air turned icy. Then the voice spoke again. This time it sounded broken. Almost like crying. I did not want to die alone. Yating covered her ears. Her tears dropped to the floor. The voice continued. I drew the symbol because I wanted someone. I wanted company. I wanted someone to stay. But the ritual changed everything. It answered me in the wrong way. It only gave me silence. It only gave me darkness. Yating felt her heart shaking inside her chest. The voice felt closer. It felt personal. It felt alive. Then she saw it. A shadow in the corner of the room. A small movement. A figure rising slowly from the floor as if waking from a long sleep. A woman. Long messy hair. Pale skin. Arms hanging loosely. Bare feet not touching the ground. She drifted closer. Slow and gentle, like someone moving underwater. When she lifted her head, Yating saw her face clearly. A dead woman. Empty eyes. Blue lips. Streams of black tears running down her cheeks. The ghost whispered softly. My name is Lin Yating. I waited for someone. I waited for so long. Now you live here. Now you can hear me. Do not leave me alone again. The lights snapped off. Darkness swallowed the room. And Yating felt something cold wrap around her wrist. Lin Yating woke on the floor with her cheek pressed against the cold tiles. Her eyes opened slowly. For a moment she could not understand where she was. The room was dark. The lights were off. Her heart beat fast and uneven. Then she felt it. Her wrist. Cold. Numb. As if something had been holding it all night. She sat up with difficulty. Her head felt heavy and her thoughts moved slowly. She looked down at her wrist. The skin looked normal, but the cold remained deep inside the bone. She wrapped her fingers around it to warm it, but the chill did not fade. She could not remember falling asleep. She could not remember getting up. She could not remember turning off the lights. The apartment felt wrong. As if someone had been inside while she slept. As if someone had been standing over her. Yating stood up slowly. Her legs shook beneath her. She walked to the window and opened it slightly for fresh air. Taipei looked normal. Morning traffic. People walking. The distant smell of food stalls. Normal life. But she felt like she no longer belonged to that world. She closed the window and went to the bathroom. She turned on the water and washed her face. When she lifted her head to look at the mirror, she gasped. Behind her reflection, just for a second, she saw another face. A pale woman with dead eyes. Yating spun around. No one was there. Only silence. She turned off the light and left the bathroom quickly. The day passed slowly. She tried watching TV, but the screen flickered. She tried listening to music, but the sound cut off. She tried calling a friend, but her phone froze. Every corner of the apartment felt cold. Every shadow felt like it was breathing. Every time she turned her back, she felt someone standing behind her. She waited for the night. She did not know why. Fear and loneliness pulled her in opposite directions. She was exhausted. Too tired to fight. Too tired to think. When the clock reached 9 p.m., she sat on the floor with her knees pulled to her chest. She stared at the door. She already knew what would happen. Her breathing grew shallow. Her mind felt heavy. Her body felt weak. At exactly 10 p.m., it began. Knock. Knock. 3 slow taps. Yating closed her eyes. Tears slid down her cheeks before she noticed she was crying. Knock. Knock. She stood up slowly. Her legs felt numb. She walked to the door as if something else controlled her. Knock. The voice came through the wood. Do you want to drink coffee with me? Her fingers touched the door handle. She should run. She should scream. She should hide. Instead, she whispered. Yes. Do you want to sit with me? Her voice cracked. Yes. Do you want to talk with me? Her chest tightened. Please. Do you want to hang out with me? She opened the door. The hallway was completely dark except for a soft shadow standing in the center. Lin Yating. Her head tilted gently. Her long black hair covered part of her pale face. Her empty eyes looked at Yating as if she had been waiting for years. Yating lifted her hand slowly. Not to hurt her. Not to grab her. Only to reach out. As if she wanted to hold hands. Yating took her hand without thinking. The ghost's touch felt like ice water, but she did not pull away. She walked back inside with her. Quietly. Slowly. Like 2 people returning from a late-night walk. In the kitchen, Yating prepared 2 cups of coffee. Her hands shook, but she tried to act normal. She placed 1 cup in front of the ghost. The ghost did not drink. She only stared at the steam rising from the cup. Yating sat across from her. The ghost spoke softly, almost like a memory. I used to sit alone every night. I waited for someone to knock. But no one ever came. Yating lowered her eyes. I understand, she whispered. Yating smiled. A small, broken smile. Thank you for staying with me. They sat like that for a long time. The coffee grew cold. The room grew colder. Yating felt her mind slowly dissolving in the silence. She listened to the ghost talk about simple things. Fragments from her past. Words repeated again and again, like a broken recording. Yating nodded. Smiled weakly. Held her hand. Her fear faded. Her sanity faded with it. She no longer felt alone. She no longer remembered the outside world. She no longer cared. At 3 in the morning, the ghost leaned closer. Her cold hand touched Yating's cheek. You will stay with me, right? Yating nodded. Yes. I will stay. The ghost closed her dead eyes, and for the first time since her death, she looked peaceful. Yating placed her head on the table. Her body felt heavy. She could not tell if she was awake or dreaming. She could not tell if she was alive or half dead. She whispered one last sentence before sleep pulled her down. I will not leave you alone. The ghost held her hand. Tightly. Lovingly. Possessively. The apartment fell silent. And from that night on, the knocking stopped. Because Yating no longer waited behind the door. She sat inside, across from the ghost, sharing coffee in the darkness. Forever.